Are you thinking about or are you already making money on DoorDash as a part-time gig? And no matter what the reason is, whether it's just maybe even to avoid bankruptcy, or you just need money for bills and life in general, or you just like having that extra money, DoorDash or any other of these gig apps could be your answer of escaping financial hardships or difficulties, no matter the limited resources or tight budget. And also depending on your financial situation, DoorDash and doing gig work can relieve some or all of your financial stress. Because it's always sometimes you just need that extra 50 bucks or that extra 100 bucks or $200 or $300. You can find that little bit of extra cash doing this. Most Dashers just do this part-time, just doing this just a few hours a week, and there is nothing wrong with that. I recently met a lady at McDonald's. She's actually dressed in a business dress, like she might be a realtor. I don't know what she was really, but I wasn't thinking that she was there for DoorDash. But she actually told me that she was on her lunch break and just trying to get an order. I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, I get it. Times are hard and we need to get those few bucks whenever we can get it. So if we can sneak in the extra dash during the lunchtime while we're actually on our breaks from work, all right. If not, some people actually they wait until the evening time after they work and they get a few hours in. Some people may wait on the weekends. Some people might just wait on whatever day that they have off. All the above is okay. And pretty much all the above is what I do, which is just any time where I'm not actually doing my full-time regular W-2 job. And I know we actually have a lot of full-time gig workers that's watching right now, and a lot of even seasoned gig workers. And I'm sure that you're actually able to think back when you actually first started, right there in those beginning stages of your gig career. And if that is you, just go ahead and put your little tips and strategies and stories down below to help the other fellow gig workers out that might be doing this or thinking about doing this, and knowing that they're brand new. So be sure and share your testimony to help somebody else out. So let's get started. So in order for us to be successful at this, you pretty much got to treat this just like any other job and taking this one day at a time. And if you are new, just know that there's going to be some issues. There's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be some ups and some downs. Like the wait time is just going to be too long. The customer is not responding. You can't find the customer. The app took you to a wrong location, or the customer gave the wrong address, or maybe you dropped the food and drinks. This stuff happens. A lot of these things are avoidable. A lot of these things we learn just with experience. But no matter what happens, we got to stay focused and not let the issues of right now bring us down where we can't complete the order. Have that mindset. I'm going to complete this order. I'm going to complete this mission. I'm going to get this thing done. So don't be rattled, but just complete the order the best of your ability. And if there's a mistake, you can learn from it and move on and grow. Hey, I feel you. There was times when I first started where I just wanted, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm not going to do this no more. I'm done. But yet I thought about the brighter side. I thought about, you know what? No one else knows what just went on. The customer that I just gave this food to has no idea, but I know. God knows. And that's as far as it has to go. So I just had to pick myself up, dust myself off, and keep going to that next order. So in other words, don't dwell on your mistakes. Just focus on doing the next order correctly, then the next order correctly, and then the next order. And if you've been listening to my videos, I've been talking about these main two things, which is knowing your why I do DoorDash and why I do gig work. And when you discover that why, this will help motivate you to keep going. The second thing is also that I've talked about is goal setting. Whether you have a daily, weekly, or monthly goal, set that goal and make it. Now, all in saying that, let's go ahead with number 3 and raise this bar. James Clear stated, "We don't rise up to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our system." And in an upcoming video, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. So be sure and consider subscribing for more in-depth thoughts and tips and tricks. So however, in this video, let's jump into some of that system and strategy that you will need to consider in your next dash. As a part-time dasher or gig worker, you're gonna have to know your market/location and when is that area busy. And since you are part-time, you wanna make the best use of your time so you can actually afford to be just a little bit picky with the orders that you choose. So go ahead, be selective, but please, please, please do not take every order that comes. Don't take upside down orders where your miles is over your money ratio. If you want to, you can actually set a $6 or $7 limit. And if that continues to work for you, keep on building from there. Just continue to do what works. So make sure your miles and money ratio is good, such as $1.75 to $2 plus per mile, which would be ideal. However, it's not always that great, and you might have to go ahead and do $1.50 per mile. This can all be flexible depending on your market and how busy it is in your area. It makes me think about the Pirates of Caribbean. It's more like guidelines, really. Let's go ahead and look at an offer. Here we have a DoorDash order at $7, 3.8 miles. It's going to Chick-fil-A and it's slightly under that $2 per mile. But this one's okay to take. And when you're having like short mileages, it's normal to actually do 2 orders an hour, but you can also do 3 orders in an hour. And if you can squeeze in that 3, this will set you up for $21 an hour. So make sure you're being prompt. Going to that restaurant, picking up that order and delivering to the customer so you can be ready for that very next order. Now let's look at another order. This is actually an alcohol order I've done recently as well. And this is $7.75 plus 5.5 miles. For some people, this might not look too good, but look right here where it shows the plus symbol. Because with this plus symbol, it means there is going to be more money after you deliver this order. Sometimes it just kind of sucks that you don't know that the whole grand total. You don't know if it's just going to be a quarter or 50 cents or $5. And it's a pleasant surprise when it is several dollars more. And we look in this case, this actually turned from $7.75 to $12.75. But you know what? It's not always DoorDash that's actually hiding tips. Sometimes the customer does as well. You can even see in my last ride along where I got a $10 cash tip after delivering. And with a completely different order, this customer adds a $5 tip after I delivered. And I was like, what in the world did I do? But that's why it's so important to make sure you're putting a practice of being polite, professional, and looking presentable. So make sure to represent yourself highly because customers can tip more after their delivery experience. Whether it's a cash tip or an app tip, more money is coming your way. But by doing all of this, you want to make sure don't have all your eggs in one basket, but also multi-app, whether it's DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Walmart Spark, just to name a few. Get some of these under your belt and work them where you can get the best offers so you can maximize your profits. Also know, you hold the keys. You have the ultimate say-so. You have the ability to dash when you want to. It's all about when you're actually available. So if you're able to actually dash during peak hours, do so. Whether it's that lunch rush from like 11 to 2 or in the dinner rush from 5 to 9. And sometimes things can fall off at 7:30 or 8 in some markets. But you have other markets that might start explode at 9 and 10 and 11 o'clock at night. So make sure and know your market and the fluctuations of when it's busy. And you know this just by paying attention to the app because there's going to be some dashers, some drivers, they're just going to say, you know what, I am not dashing at nighttime. There is no way, no how. This is where you can probably insert yourself in to make that extra money. There's going to be some drivers out there that won't actually dash in the rain. But if you're that difference maker and you will dash in some sprinkling or dash in some pouring down rain, just wearing your poncho, having your food delivered back and going, okay. But whatever you do, make sure you be careful during these weather elements and at nighttime and daytime. Well, pretty much all the time, because there are some crazy nuts out there, that's for sure. As long as we're not one of them to add to the pot, that would be a big thing right there. And maybe for some, an accomplishment. So however, the longer we do this thing, DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, gig work, this stuff is going to go on our taxes whether we like it or not. So I actually really suggest tracking your mileages, tracking your expenses, and you can do this by writing it all down, or you can do this on what I do, which is the Solo app. Check out the link below for more details. But overall, as a part-time dasher, the best way for success is simply just to get started and keep going. It's just like walking, just one foot after another. Or in other words, one order after another. So I hope you received value out of this video. So if you would, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. If you're thinking about going full time or you just need more tips and tricks, see me in the next video.